Hey YouTube, it's Calvin Tahan, and with YCS Anaheim just around the corner, I'm sure many of you guys are wondering what to expect. I'm here to tell you, not much has changed. The top tier decks are still Samurais and GKs, with, a little bit of fish sprinkled into the mix. You can blame me for that. I apologize for making the deck so awesome. No, I'm sorry. Bit of an ego there. You're also going to see some decks like Plants and Light Geminis, decks that aren't quite up there with Sams and GKs, but still pose a great threat. Sabres is still a contender, but I wouldn't count on it winning the entire thing. So if you're going to YCS Anaheim, which is in California, and if you're worried about, seeing some decks, pretty much just expect everything that you saw at Charlotte. Couple decks to watch out for. Lightsworn/Twilight deck is awesome. I mean, it hasn't changed much since this format. Nothing's different. The main key that makes the deck so good is that JD doesn't give a crap about Sheen. He will run over it, he'll blow up your field, he will attack directly. It doesn't matter. Like, the deck doesn't care about Samurais hindering their solar recharges whatsoever. It really doesn't matter. And with GKs, aside from a first turn tribute, that would be, and Necrorel is a really hard card to play around for the most part, but you can still plop JD on it. It's really not that much of a problem. So the deck does very well against the two top tier decks. It's just awesome against Light Gemini. It doesn't do too well against Plants, but it's not the best deck in the format by any means. Am I overhyping it? Yes. Should you still watch out for it? Of course. Be sure to, keep the Light Imprisoning Mirrors in your side deck, because if you face a random rogue Twilight like Lightsworn deck, you're going to lose to it, because that's exactly what happened to me at Charlotte, and it's what's going to happen to a lot of you guys at Anaheim, unless you're prepared for it. Another random deck to watch out for, Nordics. Okay, a lot of people have been pioneering this deck, bringing it to the next level. I wouldn't be surprised to see it in top 32 Anaheim at all. I would not be surprised. The deck has had a lot of time to develop. I've seen what it can do. It's not explosive. It's not really control based either. It's Nordics. It's another thing within itself, and it's really hard to decide against. Like, you can't really dedicate cards to it. So I don't know what to tell you. I wouldn't watch out for it, because if you're a good player, you can play around it. You can read the set hamster. You don't attack into face downs ever. Let them flip it, and you warning it. But for the most part, Nordics might be up there. Another bad deck that I still have to talk about, Dragoonides. Okay? The deck is god-awful. I don't know why people insist on running this deck. It is terrible. It's so fragile. A well-timed MST will shatter that into pieces. The only reason you do have to watch out for it is because people still insist running it, and they are going to run it. You're going to see some good players with it. You're going to see some bad players with it. It's going to be in Anaheim. So make sure you bring those spell striking arrows, shattering arrows, whatever they're called, because that card is amazing. That card destroys Samurais. You hit their gateway, they're united. They just blow up their whole field. And it's also a great side card against Dragoonides, because it works as a third and fourth MST if you side two of them. And if you time it correctly, if you wait till they discard for the cost of their Dragon Ravine, they neg 2 off of your MST. They take 500 or whatever. They can't come back from that. Like, the deck's too fragile. A first turn Stardust is nice in theory, but it really doesn't say sup to any decks. Like, I was able to completely trash it with my Caius. Tekken Caius is awesome. Compulse will say sup. Any card, it doesn't matter what deck you run. You're going to be able to find ways around Stardust. And if that's Dragoonides' biggest threat, other than Trident Dragon, which, I mean, if you got it, you got it, then the deck's really bad. So that's mainly what to expect in the meta of Anaheim. Sams, GKs, everything I just mentioned. Fish is going to be up there. A lot of people are going to be running that deck. It'll be cool to see how many people net deck me. If you're watching, feel free to net deck me. The deck's awesome, off the hook insane. If you're a good player, then you can do well with it. But like I said in my last video, playstyle is key. So do whatever fits your playstyle above all else. That's my discussion of what to expect in Anaheim. I will not be attending that event. I'm sorry, I can't go cross country right now. I am broke. But there are some YCSs in May and June on the East Coast that I will definitely be attending, and we'll talk about those when the time comes. So enough about that. If you're going to Anaheim, that's what to expect. I'm not a huge fan of making predictions, because I'm always wrong and you lose a lot of credibility. But I'm gonna go out on a limb and make a prediction for YCS Anaheim. Deck that's going to take it, I'd have to say Fish. And it's not because I run Fish, but just because it's had a lot of time to develop, and we've seen what it can do in Charlotte. Sams have had their time in glory. They've won 2 events in a row or something ridiculous. GK is a nice deck, but I feel like people are starting to get bored with it, so good players aren't going to run it. The bad players that do run it are going to be on top, but, Sacky deck like Fish can easily defeat GKs. I've proven it time and time again. Other players have. It's not hard. If you go in there with the correct build, I put Fish for #1 at this event. That's just my guess. It's going to be a huge deck. Just watch out for it. Make sure you side your crows, your chain disappearances, because that really hurts. Like, take it from me. It's really hard to come back from that. Mask of Restrict is nice too, but if you're a boss, you'll side big wave, small wave, so you can use that instead of tributing. You just blow up a water in your field, drop your Coelacanth. It gets under Mask of Restrict, which is really hot. But that's like a whole bunch of counter siding that has to be done for that. I don't really recommend big wave, small wave, but it's just an alternative if you're afraid of Mask of Restrict. But yeah, enough about Fish. Hopefully it will win the YCS. I really like the deck. As I said in my last video, I'm pretty much retiring it for now. Librarian formula plays are going to be so off the hook hot with that deck, and Trishula thrown into the mix. I can't put down the deck for good, but I've shelved it for now. It's there. I've been running scraps, and so going back to the home front, going back to what Calvin Dahan has been up to, I've won 2 locals this weekend. Legit won with my Icarus scraps, the really random deck that I ran. I made deck 2 Crows and 2 Searchers, and 1 Ryza. I dropped down to 1, and it won Friday's tournament. Actually, top 2 split, but that was nice. Being up there, and then I went to a Saturday tournament at a different locals than I normally go to. I live in Springfield, and I usually go to Falls Church for my locals. Anime Pavilion is where I go, but they don't have tournaments on Saturdays, and there's a place called Nova Comics where I live in Springfield that has a tournament once every, like once or twice a month on Saturday, and so I go to that. It's really nice to go to. You see some of the same people that are at Anime Pavilion, but for the most part, they're different people. A lot of Springfielders, a lot of bad kids. So I often go there just to troll. Like you see random decks out there with like you're always gonna run into like Yugioh or like some burn. So it's nothing serious, but it's just kids having fun, and it's really a great environment to go to. The judges there are great, unlike Anime Pavilion, and no hate on like anime, because I'm friends with the judges there, but Nova Comics is hands down better. I wish they would have more tournaments more often, make it big scale. If they actually became a Hobby League store in terms of actually selling packs, which they don't really do. They have like turbo packs, and that's about it. That's a good store. So if you live in the greater Virginia area, you should definitely check out Nova Comics' website and hit him up, because it's good. But I did take it down with scraps. I got first place. There's a match that includes my friend Thomas Vo, who's running Chaos Plans currently. Philly Regionals, he recently top 8'd, and he's top 8'd a bunch of regionals in the past. He's been trying to get his YCS top. He came close in Charlie. He's come close before. He's always lost in the bubbles. But Thomas Vo is awesome. Team Empire, check out the channel. It'll be in the below place. It'll be in the description, whatever. So check them out. They're cool. I faced him in a match, which is recorded and will hopefully be on the internet within the week. I'll put it on my channel. If not, it'll be on his. You guys will know where to find it. It'll be Chaos Plants versus Scraps. It's an awesome game we have recorded. I think we only have game 1 of it recorded. If you want to see my deck in action, feel free. Bad Scraps versus awesome Chaos Plants. So shout out to Thomas Bell. Shout out to his team, Team Empire. So that's it. If you're going to YCS Anaheim, good luck. I hope my assessment of the meta helps you out. I can't be there, but I will be rooting you guys on if you guys post in the replies, and if you guys want to know what decks to run. I said Fish is going to be a #1. If you need help with it, if you need help with any other decks, if you're running plans, I have you covered. I will help you get there. It'll be good. We can do this together. I mean, good luck if you're going, and if not, I'll see you again. So again, be sure to watch out for that video of the match between Scraps and Plants that I will be uploading later this week. See you around.